What's going on, Paisanos? V here, coming at you guys with another Market Watch. My voice is still a little bit shot, and I feel like trash still. I had pneumonia, so gotta kind of ride that out. But luckily, I had the luxury, we all did, of looking at YCS Pasadena. And when I mean the luxury, I mean the majority of the matches were Telemans versus Telemans versus Telemans versus Telemans. And then you got some Sprite, little flunderies. Whoa, 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 whoa. Back to Telemans. And a lot of these probably going, V, what do we do now? Like, what's going on? You know, this is top 32, by the way. And then when you get to top 16, it's even less not Ishizu Telemans. We're in a tier 0 format with a deck that can both pop off as a combo, but then evolve into mid-range past turn 1, turn 2 if it lasts that long. And we have chain links that are just insane. And you're probably going, V, what are we going to do? So in this video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you cards that are currently obviously going to be worth some value that you might want to buy or sell. I'm also going to talk about in this video that cards that you might want to pick up because they have potential to go up higher in value. Now, just because we're in a T1 meta doesn't mean you got to play the market from a T1 meta perspective. You can always move beyond it. I think it's really important that for a lot of players to understand that. I think it's very important for a lot of players to understand the fact that this market is different. I mean, Bestials are so much money. It's insane. Super rares at a Darking Blast, like Magnuma, is $16. You need 3. Druid Swarm, you need 3 as well. $8. Saronir, and some people are playing 1. Some are citing 3, but I mean, it's 35 cents. And you need these. Like, these are a must-have. Yeah, you can go ahead and play DD Crow, sure. But the Bestials are just better than DD Crow. Like, we know this already. And it's kind of, like, unfortunate that you have to deal with this. But this is what we have to deal with. Looking at Magnificent Maidens. Looking at, I mean, page 1. Before you see all the Shizu cards here, page 1 is now filled with the Secret Pharaohs rares, which are taking a value. Go back to the other day, check my Market Watch. You can see it. They are all taking a value besides, once again, the waifu tax, the OG Yu-Gi-Oh tax, still Orichalco's up there as well. But the rest of these cards are taking in value. Gold Sark Secret Pharaoh's rare used to be so much money, it's $100. I actually might want to pick this up eventually, but that's only because I want it for my collection. Secret Pharaoh's rare Chains of Heart is $100. The original print first edition's ultra rare, yeah, that's way more. You see what's going on here? Even though the Pharaoh's Rare does have value, when you add meta into collector's value and think you're going to sell it, it doesn't really work out all the time. See, Collector's Rare is a great example. And now Secret Pharaoh's Rare is kind of following the same path. Yeah, I mean, it's up to you whether or not you want to get these cards, depending on how you want to get them and use them for. Everyone has their own story, but I just want to throw it out there for everybody. Looking over at Magnificent Mavens, obviously Kelbeck is $9.50. This card was pre-selling roughly around $30. Agito, $6. Where's the other two? Keldo's $3, and Medora is $3 as well. There is a lot of good value here, and I'll probably do another Market Watch breaking down what I think is great value, because I think Magnificent Mavens, even though it had a front-end value, which obviously diminished, even though it has the BS rarities, some of them aren't bad, but majority of them are, there's a lot of great ultra rares from Magnificent Mavens. And once your players realize, hey, there's good value here, there's still juice, there's still meat on this bone, they're going to go in and grab it. But right now, I would not recommend anyone buying any of these cards because the prices are still tanking. So wait and be patient on Magnificent Mavens if you can. Then we have Power of the Elements, or realistically, Sprites. Now, if you are a Sprite player, you might be a little bit upset. But let me talk to Sprite players for 2 nanoseconds, because that's more time than they deserve. We've seen, historically speaking, every big Yu-Gi-Oh event, YCS, has been dominated, except maybe one, by Telemans. They run the YCS circuit. But if you're looking to play at a locals, or even a regional level, that belongs to Sprite. I mean, once again, historically speaking, that's Sprite's turf. And then when you go to bigger events, that's Tia's turf. I said this a while ago, but I just really want to emphasize this point again because I feel like a lot of players kind of forget about that. Yes, Ishizu Humans are the best deck in house, but if you sleep on Sprites, you will lose to Sprites. And I think Sprite players are knowing this and moving into the meta. I think when we see more regionals, you're going to see Sprite players top these events. All right, let's talk about my let's talk about my baby's Flunderies. So I know a lot of people get mad about Flunderies because, oh no, Flunderies are no skill. And then they take the wallet and they give it to the vendor. They bend over and they let a vendor just clap them cheeks as that vendor is selling them all the cards they're going to need to play Shizu Telements, because I've evidently honorable players need to spend a lot of money in this game. The dumbest take I've ever heard from Yu-Gi-Oh players. But let's be real. A lot of Yu-Gi-Oh players think if you use your wallet to play this game, you're always going to win. Flunderies do it differently. I'm actually going to be having a Flundery deck profile on this channel. I think Flunderies are insanely good. I don't think there's been a perfect build yet, but I have an idea of what I believe is a perfect build of Flunderies. I think one of the best decks in the game is Flunderies, if you want my honest opinion. The reason is very simple. The reason why Flunderies are so good in this game is because not a lot of decks can have an easy answer to them. Go first with Flunderies, you're going to create a board that's going to be a pain to get around. Go second with Flunderies, well, I have a solution to that, and I'll have a video coming out about that soon. Looking at Flunderies, though, I mean, for the most part, they are inexpensive besides Advent of Adventure. The minute you get a place out this card, you could actually build this deck for pennies on a dollar. Flunderies are obviously still good. I always talk about this every single time. People get upset about this, but they are a really good deck. But you know what's a little bit upsetting? Sky Striker's got a lot of great cards, and the debut at this event was trash. I think Sky Strikers is a sleeper deck. I'm going to throw it out there. And when I mean sleeper deck, I mean, obviously, it's not going to be the deck to beat a Shizu Telements. But what I am saying is, Strikers is that deck that always survives. It's a deck that's always getting support. And it's obviously the deck that's always getting value. So, if you own a Striker core, cool. If you don't own one, hey, listen. Magnet Maidens basically printed everything besides Afterburners. Earthshattering event card coming out of World Superstars is roughly around, where are we at? $8? Not a bad price for this card. This card says if a card is sent from the deck to the graveyard, target one card out of play's graveyard, shuffle it into the deck. Also, not a place can send cards from the deck to the graveyard for the rest of the turn. I think this card's good for now, but not good for long term. There's so many ways a Shizu Telement players can get around this card, but for now, front end, it's a great card. And obviously, people are wanting to go buy it. I won't recommend you go buy it. I think the hype is still here. The hype will die down, and then from then you might want to consider it. But it's currently $8. Look at OTS Tournament Pack 20. Ray went from 80 to 85s, roughly. Alibur's around 50s. Ghost Reaper Winter Cherries is also around 50s. This is a damaged version. I don't know how you can get like an OTS card and get damaged immediately. Herald Orange Light is $17. Now, this is actually insanely important. Let me explain. So, unlike OTS 19, OTS 20 seems to be done in moderation. Meaning, when OTS 19 first came out, the prices of the cards immediately tanked because magically everybody had them. OTS stores, get it? You open packs and just throw them online on your alternate TCG Play account. So, what's happening here? Well, simple. OTS and players are getting these cards. Some are keeping the Ghost Reaper Winter Cherries, and you might even make an argument for Ray, but not everyone needs Alibur. But yet we still see 19 listings of Alibur. Why do we see that? Because not every OTS store is getting a ton of these, meaning that these will eventually go down in value, but at a slower pace than what we saw with OTS Tournament Pack 19. Herald Orange Light is obviously coordinated at 3 for Shizu Telements, but not everyone's playing a Shizu Telements, but it's still $17, which is a good sign, by the way. This is all good news, by the way. Your OTS cards that you get your locals are now have better value. They're not $150, $200 yet, but looking at Sky Striker's Ultimate Rare prices of the past, Ray will be past $100. That's not even we're not even debating that. That's inevitable. Ray's gonna be past $100. Look at Kagari. Look at his Shizu. I mean, that stands for itself, you know? Ghost Reaper Winter Cherries, look at past hand traps. That card's going to be well past $100 in time. Alibur the Jester Despia, hey, I'm going to throw it out there in case anyone doesn't realize this. Despia's didn't get touched. The minute other decks get powered down, Despia's is at a certain level. Where if a deck gets powered, and not far, by the way, people were playing Despia cards a week ago, 2 weeks ago. Like, Despias are at a new level, so if the meta slows down with, I don't know, a ban list, Despias become infinitely better. That's scary and fun at the same time. And I'm looking to get a place at each of these Ultimate Rares myself personally, but you gotta be patient. You can't just run in and buy these. You will get wrecked by the market. Even though Ghost Reaper Winter Cherries is currently insanely low. Maybe you could do that if you want to get that, but just keep an eye on it. Also, no one's not really playing this. They're playing Ghost Reaper and the dog lady. I forgot the name. Anyway. Look at Ghost Reaper Winter Cherries though at OTS on Pack 12. It's roughly around $57. And that's not a bad price. It was at $50, now it's $57. The price will continue to go lower in the coming weeks. I would rush in and grab a place if I was you guys, because this card will eventually go low, stabilize, and spike really high in value. So, what are we doing here? You know, to anyone bitching about Maxx C, first of all, if you're a Yu-Gi-Oh player and you understand why Maxx C should come off the ban list, look at everyone bitching about Maxx C. Don't you look at him and just feel disgusted? After looking at this past YCS where don't get me wrong, I think the Shooter mirror match, I enjoy it. I'll be honest. But I know players that are not playing Shooter elements because I'm not an idiotic player who thinks only everyone should play X deck and that's it. Fuck everybody else. No. Everyone wants to play whatever they want to play, meaning Sky Striker players, Shadow players, Pure Sprite players. Everyone wants to play different decks. And they just saw a YCS of a Shooter elements versus Shooter elements. It was docking at its finest. But if Maxx C had existed, even Exorcism players would have had an opportunity to top this YCS. If this card existed, you would have had an opportunity to top a YCS because nobody would run their fucking board state as insane as they did this past YCS. And I'm not trying to shit on everyone. I'm not trying to crap on everybody. Once again, I'm in every single one of these boats. I'm playing Ishizu elements. I enjoy the deck, but I acknowledge the fact that Yu-Gi-Oh players out there want to play Drytrons. They want to play Sky Strikers. They want to play Exorcisters. And they know by shuffling those cards, going to their locals, going to the regionals, going to the YCS, they're probably going to get smoked. And they're not wrong. They're going to get smoked. But with a card like Maxx C existing in the game, it was the perfect mediator to those players. And Maxx C isn't a be-all, end-all, by the way. If you're here's where I get everyone mad, but I'll pick on Exorcism players. If you're an Exorcism player and you open with Maxx C in hand, guess what? You know what exists? Ask Blossom and Joy Spring, which recently got a reprint. How many times again? I forget. You get a common as a little $5 for Ash Blossom and Joy Spring. So that could stop you. Cards like Crossroad Designator, which just got tanked even lower in value, $6. That could stop you. So isn't the be-all end-all? It's a tool in the toolbox to stop the best deck in house so other decks can have an opportunity. That's all it promises you. And I think a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh players need that. Look at Crossroad Designator. Look at Ash Blossom Joy Spring. These cards didn't see play this past weekend, right? But ask yourself, as a Yu-Gi-Oh player, if Maxx C existed, and with a coming ban list, there's a good chance it might, unless Konami finds a way to hit Ishizu cards, question mark, not really, never going to happen, by the way. If Maxx C exists, what is that going to do to the player base? It's going to challenge the top tier players, and it's going to be an opportunity for the lower tier players. And you go, V, that's bullshit, that's not fair. No, that's what? No. Okay, see Mystic Mine. As much as I don't like Mystic Mine, a striker player ran through a YCS that should have belonged to Despias, but because he used a card that made his deck that was low on the tier better, it allowed him to get a better result. And obviously, Mystic Mine is super more degenerate than Maxx C, in my opinion. Mystic Mine has cards to help you add Mystic Mine, to bring out Mystic Mine. It's insanely degenerate. But I'm trying to give you guys the reasoning that, listen, imagine a next ban list, which I would imagine would be next month, right? I think it's next month. I could be wrong. Could be January, but I think Konami would want to do it next month. People are going to get tired of just, having two decks fight each other over and over again. Maybe guest starring this deck, which is going to lose. Obviously, he'll get 2-0'd, but he made it to this round. Good for him. And then he gets destroyed by Ishizu elements. So obviously, everyone's going to get bored. So I think it's really important for Yu-Gi-Oh players to acknowledge the fact that if Maxx C was to come off, you're going to need cards like these. You better have them. You better have them. Kashtira Fenrir, by the way, for all my Ishizu Tournament players, you're going to need to get a place of this. I don't own it yet myself. But I'm definitely gonna be looking to get a place of each of the Kashtira cards. I'm throwing it out there for everybody. If you don't have this card yet, keep an eye on it. The price is slowly rising, even though it's not needed currently right now, which I think will lead to the price of this card to go down. Then we'll talk about going in and buying it. But this card will be going down as Ishizu Tournament is kind of set in its build. One card I want to talk about that's really important is Evil Storm Excited Knight. So if you notice throughout this YCS, a lot of players were going into not Access Code Talker, oh my god, Zeus. They were going to Zeus. But what happens? You give your battle phase up. Okay, cool. Evil Storm Excited Knight, it's a phenomenal card that I think a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh players need to start reading again. This card is so good, and it's a tool that slowly Yu-Gi-Oh players are adding into their deck. This card, original print out of Legacy to Valiant, by the way, first edition copies of this card is roughly around $15. This is the highest printing version. There's also a Megaton version if you want that, if you're freaky like that. And there's an Ultra Rad Bowser Legends Revenge. That's it. That's all there is. That's all you get. I think, in my opinion, Evil Storm Excited Knight is going to start being a staple. 100%. Another card I want to talk about, which I didn't get a chance to really address here, is Mass Change. So, Mass Change is important. You're probably going, V, what the fuck? Calm down, V. Okay, I know you're sick, but in the head, too. Mass Chain allows you to bring out Dark Law, and Dark Law allows your opponent not to play the deck that you want them to play. Now, there's a bunch of Dark Laws. Obviously, there's an Ultimate Rare. Let me get rid of first edition. There's an Ultimate Rare. It's roughly around $400. It's as low as common as $1. Super rare is $2.40, and the ultra rare is $19. I don't like the ultra rare, and even though I like those Saga, if you're spending $20 for an ultra rare, bro, save up, get the ultimate rare, or get the super rare. The ultra rare is nice, but I mean, it's a silver medal value. Listen, I think Master of Dark Lord is a great card, and I also think it's going to see a lot more play moving forward. It's one of the best ways Yu-Gi-Oh players playing Yoshizu Telements can counter other Yu-Gi-Oh players. It also is an option for other Yu-Gi-Oh players that may consider playing this card. And if that has to be the case, I do think we can see Dark Lord seeing it play in a lot more decks. Keep an eye out for this card. It's definitely a card you're going to want to keep an eye out because it's one of the best ways to counter Yoshizu Telements. Even so, like Side Knights, if you are playing Yoshizu Telements or can make a level 4, it's also a good card. And I think a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh players now, the question doesn't become whether or not Yoshizu Telements is the best deck. It's confirmed, tier 0. But Herald of, and I mean, fill in the blank. Wait, what? Okay, we'll go to Yu-Gi-Oh. Herald of Purple and Herald of Green Light are considerations for meta cards, which nobody knows about yet. I've been talking about this for the past couple of months, but Herald of Purple Light negates traps. Herald of Green Light negates your opponent's magic cards and destroys them. I think these are great considerations. Don't get me wrong, Herald of Orange obviously is insane. Some players, I believe Jesse didn't, he didn't even play them, but I think that's incorrect. I think Herald of Orange Light is great, and Herald of Purple and Green Light are great considerations. The prices have slowly been increasing, and we've been talking about that for months now, these cards. And I'm just going to throw it out there for a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh players that might not know that these even exist, but they do, and they're cards you might want to consider picking up. Do you need Ultimate Rare? No. They also have lower rarities, but those are slowly starting to be bought out as well. And I think you really need to focus on these because these cards are going to be cards that you might start seeing in Yu-Gi-Oh players' decks, side decks. We don't know, but we do know that these cards are definitely a consideration and have crazy good value, just as much as Herald of Orange has crazy good value as well. Anyway, Pazals, I really appreciate you guys watching my video. Hopefully my voice comes back to me. It's your boy V, and you Pazals have a great day.